how to create amazing patterns using the warp feature in Photoshop. I've created a layer using gradients, but you could use text, you could use images, and many other things to create your design. Go to the Layers panel, unlock it via the padlock, window menu, and the key panels, patterns and layers. Go to the Tools panel and the Move tool. With the layer selected, go to the Layer menu, Smart Objects, and Convert to Smart Object. As a smart object, I can modify it later, so I can change the gradient at a later point. You can scale it. You can also warp it via the Edit menu, Transform and Warp. With the warp active, go to the points or lines and drag. You can pull the points inwards. You can overlap. You can generate folds, distort the layer in many ways. Experiment with the corner points and fold them inwards. Rotate the anchor points. You can squeeze and fold the layer in all kinds of ways. You can add new points by right-clicking on the layer. Select Split Crosswire or Horizontally, etc. Position the crosswire and then click the layer. The crosswire follows the shape of the warp. Drag the points to distort the design even more. You can add as many lines as you wish and warp it in all kinds of ways. The result may not be elegant. You can always cancel and then redo it, or right-click and remove warp lines. Once you're happy with your warp, press Return. You can now rotate the layer or scale it, etc. You can always go back and restart the warp, so go to Edit menu, Transform and Warp. Select the points and lines and warp it again. Press Return to finish. I want to store that as a pattern. You can also add filters and adjustments to the smart object. Go to the Tools panel and select the rectangular marquee tool. Draw a selection around the smart object. Go to the Patterns panel, right side menu and New Pattern Preset. Give it a name, click OK. The pattern is now available for fills, pattern fills, brushes, etc. Go to the Edit menu and Fill. Set Content to Pattern. Select the pattern you've just created. In Custom Pattern, set Script to On. Use the Random Fill script or one of the others. Click OK. The Random Fill panel will appear. Set the density, set the scale factor, set the rotation, etc. Set colour and brightness randomization. Once you're happy, click OK. You can apply it again and again via the Edit menu and Fill. It doesn't always fill the entire document on the first pass, so it's always good to fill and fill again. You could also apply filters in between the fills. Or adjustments. You could build up a collection of warped designs and use those as pattern sources as well. Go back to the pattern source document. Select menu and deselect. Go back to Edit menu, Transform and Warp. You can now go in and distort it all over again. Warp it in all kinds of ways, add additional points or remove points. As a smart object, the Transform Warp is always available. The design can then be used as a source for hundreds of new patterns, albeit slightly unusual patterns. Once you're happy with all your warping, you can press Return. As a smart object, you can also edit the underlying source. Go to the Layers panel, go to the Smart Object, double-click the small Smart Object thumbnail. It will open a PSB file and you can edit the gradient. Add to the existing gradient or perhaps use a different gradient. Add shapes, add filters. Filter menu, distort and wave. Change the wavelength, the number, amplitude, etc. Set Repeat Edge Pixels on. Click the Randomize button. Once you're happy with your design, click OK. You could also add some text to the design. Once you're happy with the design, close the document and save the PSB. The smart object will now be updated with your new design. You now have another warped, colourful design, perfect for turning into another pattern tile. Go to the Tools panel, Rectangular Marquee tool, select the pattern. Go back to the Patterns panel, right side menu, New Pattern Preset. Give it a name, click OK. Go back to the other document, go to the Edit menu and Fill, select Pattern, select the pattern you just defined, click OK. In the second panel, change things if you wish, click OK. And there you have your end design. Apply a filter or two. Go to the filter menu, apply, repeat wave. You can always undo, or go to filter menu, stylize and oil paint. Repeat this filter a few times to smear the design. You could also use the layer as a smart object, apply a warp and define as a pattern, or add adjustments to it to recolour the design. Image menu, adjustments, and I'm using levels. Change the input levels and press return. I hope you found this Photoshop tutorial of interest. I'm always adding new tutorials about Photoshop, Illustrator and others. Please subscribe to the Graphic Extras channel by clicking the subscribe button. Please add a comment or two, as well as a dislike or like. Thank you very much.